Let's have a read. Let's see what we got here. About P. Diddy, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, Diddy P. Diddy. Is it really necessary to have that many, like, different names? I guess that's how they refer to him, but that is a lot of typing. Versus United States of America. Right, so, for decades, P. Diddy, the defendant, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted, I don't know what that means, business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The arson is when he like tried to blow up fucking, what's his name? Kid Cudi, right? Tried to blow his car up. Or he did blow his car up, but he wasn't in it, one of the two. Faceted. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Some serious charges there. Yeah, this is nuts, dude. The defendant operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, collectively the Combs Business. Corporate entities in the Combs Business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, oh, that's clothing, yep, an alcoholic spirits business, marketing agency, and the television network and media company. I've seen a video, I don't know if it's real, but I've seen a video of one of his old security guards talking about how he overheard P. Diddy had drugged Meek Mill and was pretty much just raping him in the room, and you could just hear him fucking screaming, like Meek Mill just fucking dying, getting absolutely fucking abused. It's kind of nuts, and the more this unfolds, the more I believe that he isn't bullshitting. I just don't know if like your life is in danger for releasing that sort of information. It's nuts. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, sexual, pretty much everything. As part of this pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'll figure out what a Puff Daddy Spirits business beverage is, and I'll grab a bottle of it if they still have that available in the shops after this tragedy. At times, Combs and others acting in his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. Have you guys seen this video here? This bad boy here. I don't have the audio, but I do have the video. Have you seen this video? I only saw this the other day. Oh, there is some audio. You might not have it on the video though. Basically, this is that was P. Diddy's ex, and this is him running down the hallway in a fucking towel. Comes out and just fucking drags the bitch and throws her to the floor. And kicks her while she's down. Like, he hasn't got any fucking clothes on, man. He kicks her again. And he's dragging her ass back and I haven't seen this far, Jesus. This is at a hotel. Have you guys not seen this? Look how nuts that is. He's not even dressed. Like, he was mid-shower. This guy he's on a fucking mission, dude. It is nuts, eh? And you know what? I think he just said that he was like having a bad day or something. This isn't a bad day. This is nuts. Look at this. Jesus, and just kicks her? Video's old news. Yeah, I know it's old news, but not everyone's seen this. I only saw it like 2 days ago. Was she robbing him? No, I think they were just having an argument. It's crazy, man. Like, he's nuts, dude. He's fucking nuts. I don't think she was robbing him. I think she was just leaving him. They must have had an argument or something. They were dating at the time. Like, she was his girlfriend at the time. Yeah. That's what it was. It wasn't just some stranger who's taking his stuff. They were dating. Yeah. He was high as fuck and she didn't want to fuck. Probably. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he wasn't dressed and she was. No, she wasn't robbing him. She had like a robe, fucking power drill bag on her, dude. Physical abuse by P. Diddy. Where's my fucking mouse gone? White on white, can't see shit. Was recruited by widely known. The defendant was recruited and widely known. Sorry, recurrent. I'm a dickhead. On numerous occasions, from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance in, there you go, in LA hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. This man is nuts, dude. It's crazy. I just need to check again. This is racketeering conspiracy, count 1. This is count 1. Racketeering conspiracy. Okay. Alright, the defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. These employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates, acted in Combs' intermediaries and other conduct, was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. Basically, if anyone is ever involved with P. Diddy, if they have a picture with Puff Daddy anywhere, there is a strong chance that they have been a victim of this shit. Man or woman. That's what we're getting from here. This guy does not stop. Apparently Diddy had 3 other black men / male workers, strippers in the hotel room, having them run a train gangbang on Cassie, and she wanted no part of it. Wouldn't surprise me. Tried to escape him for abuse? Of course. She wasn't just like going to the shots back in a minute. I think she was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. The Combs Enterprise. For at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, Puff Daddy, the defendant, and others, known and unknown, were members and associates of a criminal organization, the Combs Enterprise, or the Enterprise. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex, trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. I believe that the theory that Kanye West has tried to give everyone, you know how Kanye's been kind of off the rails the past like 5 years, more than normal? I think he was trying to tell, I don't know exactly, I haven't looked into it, but I heard briefly that he was trying, that it was because of all this P. Diddy shit. Because we've seen videos of him recently as well, like making sure that he stays away from his kids. Like, Puff Daddy's walked up to Kanye's kids and Kanye's just like fucking pushed the motherfucker back and just shook his hand, but then is like just straight up not let him near his kids at all, like, because he knows how fucked he is. It's probably because he's also just high on drugs, but apparently, like, a lot of what he's saying is, like, just relating to this sort of shit. But I haven't looked into it. 50 Cent is having a great time. Oh, 50 Cent's loving it, man. So the Combs Enterprise, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18. Don't know what that is. This is a group of individuals associated, in fact, although not a legal entity. Okay. Combs Enterprise consisted of Puff Daddy, the defendant, 2 entities with the Combs businesses, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global, individuals employed by an associated with Combs business, and others known and unknown. All right, okay. So it's constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs enterprise. The Combs enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. I believe the reason he's been arrested, he knew it was coming. That's why he went to Manhattan or whatever, where he got arrested, right? He's probably rolling over all this shit. Oh, we're going to see some good stuff from 50 Cent on Instagram at some point. They're all getting off of the fact that this menace isn't around. Yeah. Same thing's happened with T. Harvey Weinstein as well. Like, bro, the whole group is organized in trafficking and drugs. It's nuts. It's insane, man. And it's been happening since like the 90s, right? The defendant and others known and unknown participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of the Combs enterprise affairs. These individuals included certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs, security staff, household, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, as well as other close associates of Combs. So the purpose of Combs enterprise include the following: operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among other things, record labels, recording studio, an apparel line, alcoholic spirits businesses, marketing agency, television network. We all know this sort of shit, you know? This has been happening for years. We know this. That's who Puff Daddy is. Enriching members and associates of the enterprise, including its leader, Combs, and in particular those who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crimes. Can you get in trouble for like... Are you legally responsible for concealing the shit that P. Diddy's been doing or the company's been doing if, like, you're being blackmailed? I think if there's evidence that you've been blackmailed, you're all right, yeah? Like, you're probably not going to get prosecuted. And they say sex trafficking. Was the sex paid prostitutes or unwilling? Both, I believe. Cracks me up that I open up my favorite RuneScape stream while I play today and he's reading through the P. Diddy court docs. Yeah, of course, dude. I'm looking forward to the court hearing. So if you're going to be in cooperative, if you're going to be a cooperative witness, okay. With all the shit coming out, does it make you think he was 100% in the position of Tupac and Biggie? Oh no, he 100% is the one that put the hit out on Tupac, the first hit at least anyway, and then more than likely the second, and then that's what got Biggie killed as well, right? Biggie should never have gone to California. He knew he was going to die if he went there, but he said fuck it because he's got big balls. And that's why he got shot up. He should never have gone to California. But I believe P. Diddy is the one that like pulled the strings for that. You have to prove that the threats made you fear for your life. Yeah, okay. If you can prove it, then you can get away with no charges. Okay. You should become a judge? Nah, I shouldn't become a judge because I'd be way too good at it. Gonna restream the hearing. If it's publicly available, we are going to be watching it live. Absolutely, man. For sure. We'll be AFK and RuneScape on the side. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power of the Combs enterprise, including the power of its leader, Combs, through violence, use of firearms, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Sexual abuse so much it's crazy. Like, I don't know how you can be this much of a thug when it comes to making your music and your living, and you're just happy with all the sexual abuse. It's insane. I guess the alternative is getting shot, but it's nuts, eh? King straight to jail, Condor? Pretty much, yeah. I feel like if you were a judge, my sneaky baby mama wouldn't be receiving child support. So let's focus on the task at hand, eh? You can bring your concerns to me later. Enabling Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including sexual violence, sex trafficking, forced labor. That's crazy. Interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics distribution, and other crimes, and concealing the commission of such acts. There is no way he pleads guilty to this. Securing absolute loyalty from members in the Combs enterprise, including through acts of violence and threats. Protecting the Combs enterprise and its members and associates, including Combs from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery. There are going to be people in law enforcement that are going to get fucking stung for this. And threats of retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. This is nuts. Rumor is No Muggy had been to the Diddy party. It's more than likely, yeah. It's crazy. Among other means and methods by which Sean Combs, the defendant, and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise included the following. Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power to prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit. I'll say that again. Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. You guys know Jennifer Lopez was dating him back in the 90s, and like they shot someone. Those two and one of his mates, they shot someone. I think it was 1999. They shot someone in a club, and Jennifer Lopez got off no charges at all, even though she was the one carrying the gun. And then the other guy that was with P. Diddy was the fall guy 100%. He took 10 years in jail. He got 10 years in jail, and fucking Puff Daddy got off free. That was crazy when that happened, man. Wasn't like Mace or something like, I can't remember his name, but he got 10 years in prison, and then when he was released in 2009, he then got extradited out of the country. Like, he got sent back to his home country in like Africa or some shit. It's crazy, man. He must have got a fuck ton of money for it. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, and masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. Fucking freak-offs, dude? That's insane, man. That's crazy. There's no way he pleads guilty to this. We're getting a fucking trial, 100%. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. During freak-offs, Combs distributed... I mean, look, if you're one of these sex workers, you must have been getting paid fucking big for this shit, man. That is crazy, dude. Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. So he was just drugging the fuck out of people, locking them in rooms. I 100%, if this is even remotely like 10% true, I believe the old security guard that said he heard Meek Mill getting his cheeks clapped. Meek Mill is a fucking embarrassment, dude. That is crazy, man. Why does it continue to call them freak-offs? Because that's what he calls them. They want to make sure that it's stated this is what they mean by freak-off. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. How does no one shoot him? Like, how does no one deal with this motherfucker? It's crazy. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. At least he looked after them, you know. He had medics on standby. It's crazy, man. This guy is horny as fuck. I'm a bust a nut and then that's it kind of guy, you know. I'm happy to just fucking go back to playing RuneScape. This guy's gone for days, man. Where do you think all of his success comes from? He was hosting these parties and inviting high-level industry people, burning money at that rate and still getting richer. Madness. He was a billionaire, dude. And just by threatening and standover behavior, he was able to just maintain that. Everyone that worked under him made money for him. Just this giant fucking network market that he had going on. See people in a circle, people want a piece of the pie. You know when there are people with their tinfoil hats, the conspiracy theorists about there being the Illuminati or the secret society in the high end where they have to basically bend over backwards and go to the woods and worship to some wooden statue while children's blood's being fucking thrown on them. And that's how they get famous. That's how they become industry plants. It kind of makes it seem like that's what's happening. Anyone that became famous under P. Diddy, they had to go through the ritual of, you know, participating in a freak-off, whether they wanted to or not. You're in a freak-off, there you go. Double platinum by the end of the week. Congratulations. Has to pay Sting every day or some shit because he stole that Every Step You Take song. There you go. He had non-famous high-level industry people racistly, probably Jewish at these parties. I don't know what that means. This is crazy, man. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required freak-off supplies. That little bags. This is for the freak-offs. I wonder if you get party bags as well when you leave, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, lighting, cleaning the hotel room after the freak-offs to try and mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims, commercial sex workers and Combs to and from the freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies, resupplying him, like, you know, airdrop, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the commercial sex workers, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. At least he looked after the hotel rooms, you know? He at least had the decency to cover his tracks and make sure that no one knew what the fuck just happened. So if you're ever in, let's say, America in general, let's just assume California, New York, and anywhere in between, if you've been to a hotel in the past 20 years, there is a strong chance that you are sitting in post-freak-off fluid. Just be aware of that. Maybe get an Airbnb instead at this point, because P Diddy could have been there, you know. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. More than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. The fact that they seized that, okay? This isn't a conspiracy. They have seized 1,000 bottles of baby oil. This sentence right here, that sentence there, we don't need to go to trial. This man is guilty. If you have 1,000 bottles of baby oil, you did it. Whatever you did, you fucking did it. No one needs that many. That's 1,000 bottles. That's more than a pallet. You probably get 800 bottles on a pallet. Whatever you done, you fucking did it. Or you're gonna do it. One of the two. That's crazy. I'm surprised he doesn't have a fucking, like, a dispenser or something in the building. He's just buying bottles. He's just ordering that shit straight to the house, man. It's crazy. Something special in Snack Group? I'll check it out after. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. He subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. Wasn't Justin Bieber really close to Puff Daddy? Like, didn't Justin Bieber come up through Puff Daddy? At a very young age? He did, right? It was Usher, I think. Was it not through Bad Boy? Or through Combs Enterprises? Who is Usher signed with? Nah, okay, you might be right. Was it Usher or Ludacris? Justin Bieber went to a Diddy party. I mean, Taylor Swift went to one too, right? So... let's have a look. He admits to being pimped out by Diddy. That was 4 months ago. It doesn't say specifically though. I don't know. This is what I heard. 50 Cent is in his element right now. Oh, for sure. JB came out. Okay, so Justin Bieber did come out about it. Okay, that's nuts, man. At 14. That's so fucked, eh? What a poor cunt. Admitted it, and Taylor Swift was also part of the circle at one point. That's crazy, man. It's crazy. Fuck. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. Man, what? Like, he must have had some badass security with him. There's no way that you don't just turn around and fucking smack the cunt. Because he wasn't that big, right? How tall is this motherfucker? He's 54. He's not even 6 foot. How do you not turn around and just fucking hook the cunt? That's crazy. Hillary Clinton's also a friend of Diddy. That wouldn't surprise me. During the we read that bit. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak-offs. Victims believed they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. I believe that. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings they made of the freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. I think that's crazy because I think him having it recorded and forcing it is just as incriminating as you being on camera of it happening, right? So it's a stalemate. It's just like, how about you release that shit and I release that it's you fucking forcing it on people, right? Start resisting the freak-off. It's crazy. The video is going to leak sooner or later, 1,000%. Oh, 100%. We've already seen leaked audio. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs, security personnel at times carried firearms. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried a brandished firearm to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnessed to his abuse. You know what? That makes more sense. In or about 2024 of March, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including an AR-15 with defaced serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. Drum magazine, is it legal to have a drum magazine? And defaced serial means that someone's filed the serial number off, right? Which, from my understanding in America, is jail time. Is that correct? I'm not very familiar with the laws and guns. I know it varies from state to state. This is California specifically. Drum is 110% legal. Okay, I'd imagine drum mags and suppressors. You're not allowed those as well, maybe. And it's a felony to have that. So he's fucked regardless, right? Drum mags are okay, but the defaced serial numbers are federal. Okay, so that's a federal crime. So it doesn't matter where you are. That's jail. Right. Okay. We're gonna say P Diddy dressed as Kanye, boning T Swift, screaming that was Beyonce. What bitch? Yeah, probably. Hey. But in California, drum magazine is illegal, yeah? That's what you're saying? You can have a suppressor with a license? Okay. Need tax stamp and license. Makes sense. Okay. Messing with the serial number is jail time. The drum mag is illegal in Cali, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so yeah, he's cooked there. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise enables Combs control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payment to victims, advancing or suppressing the victims' career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Combs used to keep the victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise at times witness Combs' violence towards the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. That's nuts, man. Depends on the state. Mostly legal. Just need proper credit interest. Okay. Drum's only legal if it was grandfathered before the new laws in 2021. Then it probably was legal. But regardless, he scratched off the serial number, yeah? So that's a federal offense. If you're class 3, you can have a rocket launcher in some states. That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's nuts. Where were we? We were up to here. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries from Combs inflicted. Damn, you just locked in a hotel room. Like, you ain't going into it till that eye is no longer black. Without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. I wonder if we're going to get a list of who the victims are. Like, you're never going to look at half of these musicians again. What's this legal doc? It's Puff Daddy getting arrested and them just he's going to jail, dude. That's crazy. When employees witness to his abuse, or others threaten Combs' authority or reputation, this is when they fight back. Combs and members of the associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence included kidnapping and arson. So if you just said, I'm not joining the freak off, they're gonna lock you in a cupboard and set you on fire, basically. In addition to multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. I'm surprised he didn't get stabbed, man. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. When Combs' authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement actions against him, including in or about late 2023, following public allegations of Combs' crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among others, provided these victims and witnesses with the false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. So we might get 2 recordings back as well then, right? Racketeering conspiracy. Here we go. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, 2008, in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Puff Daddy, the defendant, and others known and unknown, being persons employed by the Association of the Combs Enterprise, described in paragraphs 6 through 12 of the indictment, an enterprise engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowing, combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together and with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the United States, to wit, title whatever the fuck that is to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs Enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. When you're in Diddy's circle, you have to be okay with meth, cocaine, 2CI, dirty pink cocaine, meth, and be ready when he calls you to engage in sexual acts with anyone he picks you to fuck at any time. Pretty much, yeah. It's like, look, you're going to be a millionaire, but you're going to be fucking anyone, anytime, anywhere, and I'm going to be watching. It's nuts, man. Multiple acts involving kidnapping chargeable under the following provisions of state law. California penal, yeah, this is all just codes and shit. We don't care about that. Multiple acts of indictable under Title 18, title, all this shit. Multiple offenses involving the possession of intent, with intent to distribute or distribution of narcotics and controlled substances, including cocaine, oxycodone, alprazolam, I don't know what that is. 3, 4, methylenedioxymethamphetamine, meth. 4 bromo, 2, 5 drugs, lots of drugs, ketamine, drugs, in violation of whatever, drugs, lots of drugs. Xanax, there you go, drugs, just drugs everywhere. As part of the conspiracy, Puff Daddy, the defendant, agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs Enterprise. Notice of special sentencing. So from at least 2009 up until and including 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, defendant agreed to, in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion as described in Title 18. This guy is going to fucking jail, man. There's no way he doesn't go to jail. Any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in commercial sex act in violation. He's going to fucking prison. That's count 1, by the way. All that, everything there, all of this, that's count 1. Count 1 being racketeering conspiracy. Okay? It's not over. We're up to count 2. Sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion. Victim number 1. What's the difference between commercial and non-commercial sex? I'd imagine that one is probably legal and one isn't. One is forced, one isn't, maybe. One is an actual prostitute, one isn't. I'm not sure. How many victims are there on the list so far? I don't know. I think we only have... We have one victim on here, I believe. So far. Yeah, I think so. Is this only federal too? I believe so. What happens with state level charges? I have no idea. One promotes a product. Oh, there you go then. The grand jury further charges. Alright. From at least in or around 2009 up to including in or about 2018 in the Southern District, the defendant in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means a person, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion as distributed during the code and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in commercial sex act, and attempted, aided, abetted, and willfully caused the same, to wit, Cones recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained a person, victim 1, and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused victim 1 to engage in commercial sex acts, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that victim 1 was engaging in commercial sex acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. Basically, someone's come forward and said, I've been raped. To say whenever this started, I believe 2008 was the earliest date we've got. I believe, but I think it's been going way before that. There are going to be more victims coming out for sure. Transportation to engage in prostitution from at least in or around 2009 up until including 2024 in the Southern District. The defendant knowingly transported an individual in interstate and foreign commerce with intent that the individual engage in prostitution and attempted, aided, and abetted and willfully caused the same. To wit, Cones transported, aided, and abetted and willfully caused the transportation of female victims and commercial sex workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engage in prostitution. So someone might even prostitutes. He's just like, yeah, you're a hooker today. That's it, man. As a result of committing the offense alleged in Court 1 of this indictment, this is our forfeiture allegations. The defendant shall forfeit in the United States pursuant, I don't know what that is, pursuant, whatever, and any and all interests the defendant acquired or maintained in violation of Title 18, any and all interests in securities of claims against and property or contractual rights of any kind affording a source of influence over the enterprise named and described herein, which the defendant established, operated, controlled, conducted, and participated in the conduct of in violation of Title 18. There's the code. And any and all property constituting and derived from proceeds obtained directly and indirectly said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency, representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. Watching KINGCONDOR read the entire legal document on stream has been truly a transformative experience. I'm not very good at reading, but I'm doing my absolute best. Yeah, Diddy's basically the fucking Silver Surfer, for sure. That's classic. Accurate. As a result of committing the offense alleged in Court 2, the defendant shall forfeit to the United States, any and all property, real and personal, involved in, used, or intended to be used to commit or to facilitate the commission of said offense, and any and all property traceable to such property, any and all property, real and personal, constituting or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly. So basically, he's handing over everything to the fucking government, right? Anything that's in his name, he's had to forfeit. That's what I'm reading. Is that correct? Is that what I'm reading here? How does that affect people who are currently working under him, though? It's nuts. I bet he saved 5% on that baby oil with Amazon subscribers. Probably, dude. He'll snitch. I mean, who's he gonna snitch on? It's like getting fucking. It's like getting the kingpin. I don't think there's anyone for him to snitch on, without incriminating himself. They no longer work under him. This guy's nuts, man. Clinton. I mean, I don't think he'll be able to snitch on many people without further incriminating himself, right? I mean, I don't know, but I feel like him being the boss, the CEO, the name, he knows who killed Biggie. He's probably the one that fucking coerced it with Tupac, you know? Part of the whole Epstein ring, probably. So you reckon he'll snitch to get off? Any way to snitch is up. I guess the politicians. I guess anyone that allowed. I guess yeah. If there was any like even not even politicians, just like anyone in law enforcement, like any I don't know what they're called, not sheriffs, but like the deputy or whatever, whoever runs like New York law enforcement, turning a blind eye to bribery and shit, things like that. I guess yeah. Do a tell-all, make it a pay-per-view. Yeah, why not? Let's get cross-examined on the stand. Mr. Diddy, can you explain why you had 1,000 bottles of baby oil? I was planning on having some kids. You know, planning on people having kids in front of me at least anyway. Chief of police, there you go, yeah. Yeah, he's basically just got to forfeit everything to the US. That's what it sounds like, because everything's been under his name. Could throw guests that participated willingly without force under the bus with him. He could do. But could they not just turn around and say, no, I was forced? You get a plea deal to snitch in exchange for immunity to whatever you reveal about yourself? Well, that's if they take the deal, right? It depends on if what he snitches on is enough for it to be like, okay, we'll give you the deal, yeah? Substitute assets provision. If any of the above described forfeitable property as a result of any act or omission of the defendant cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third person, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, has been substantially diminished in value, or has been commingled with other property which cannot be subdivided without difficulty, it is the intent of the US, pursuant, whatever, to seek forfeiture of any property of the defendant up to the value of the above property. So basically, if they can't get a hold of, like, Bad Boy Records or whatever, for example, they just take shit until they meet the value of it, which is a lot. So, did he get bail, though? That's the question. That's crazy, man. This guy's a freak, having freak-offs. No bail? Awesome. He doesn't deserve it. He did not get bail? That's good. I haven't looked into it yet. This is the first I've seen of this since his arrest. That's bananas, man. No bail, flight risk, of course. He was offered 50 mil. The judge said no. That's awesome. So, they've announced about an hour ago. Oh, okay. Let's have a quick look. Puff Daddy. So, the next thing is when will we get... yeah, he remains in custody after judge denies bail. That was 5 hours ago, yeah. When will we get a trial? Probably not for a good bit, hey? Look at this shit. Look at that head. That's crazy. Prosecutors had argued he was at risk of obstructing the case, and in his ruling Wednesday, Judge Andrew Carter said there will be no conditions that reduce the risk of witness tampering and obstruction. Lock this motherfucker up. Hell yeah. The Australia said you're not getting bail because you'll just fuck it up. He will remain in federal custody ahead of his trial on racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges after his lawyers failed Wednesday to appeal the judge's decision to deny him bail. Hip-hop artist is facing charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Pleaded not guilty. Oh, we're getting a trial for sure. That means we'll get a public trial that we can watch, right? Hopefully. It's a federal offense. It's a federal arrest, not state. Sat in a cell right now thinking, damn, I feel freaky. Yeah, he's just like, got any baby oil on hand? Faces a sentence of up to life in prison if convicted. Next court appearance will be scheduled October 9th. Okay. He'll appeal the ruling. Crown's attorney Mark Angfilo, whatever, told CNN so what does it mean by he'll appeal the ruling? What does that mean? Federal trials are not allowed to be filmed? Okay. So we might not be able to watch it then. They can appeal the court to seal it due to nature of the testimonies. So it may not be publicised. Okay, so we'll see. And then so it may or may not be public. We'll find out on the 9th of October. Defo died mysteriously. When he does, just tells you all you need to know that he isn't top dog. He's a fall guy. Find out. I'm going to sit in jail a day longer than he has to. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Mark, the lawyer, he's getting paid. He doesn't give a fuck, dude. He'd be in jail wish I had a bottle of that baby oil right now. 100%. State prison free costs are going to be wild. They're going to be insane, dude. He's going to make a name for himself. Won't be televised, but media will be there. Okay, so we'll be able to look at it after. When asked about Combs' apparent lack of reaction to the ruling, he is a stoic guy in his manner. He's been through a whole lot in his life. I bet he's seen some fucking things. He's like, yeah, I've seen it all before. Took it away for this for 30 years, which is fucked. It's nuts, eh? Prosecutors allege Combs created and ran a criminal enterprise through his business empire that engages in crimes including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, according to the federal indictment. The music mogul was being held by himself at a special housing unit in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, according to a law enforcement official, after another judge denied bail Tuesday. Prosecutors oppose releasing Combs on any grounds, telling the court that he has attempted to tamper with witnesses and saying the risk of danger is acute. They pointed to an alleged cache of weapons found in the closet of Combs' bedroom and his access to millions of dollars in bank accounts and cash that make him a flight risk. Yeah, he'll just get the fuck out of the country. He's got his own jet. If he gets on bail, he's gone. He ain't fucking staying. Try and sway the federal judge to release Combs while he awaits trial. His lawyers submitted a new bail package on Wednesday. So he's already been denied. Now he's been denied twice. That proposed to restrict all female visitors to his home who are not family members and to limit all visitors to his Miami properties. The proposal bail package also included $50 million bond, co-signed by Combs. His mother and several family members surrender of his passport, which won't matter, home detention, weekly drug testing, and a visitor log to be submitted nightly to pre-trial services. I mean, he's willing to give $50 million. That's a drop on the bucket for him, man. That's chump change. The start of Wednesday's hearing, Carter said the package did not provide reasonable assurance Combs would return to court. His passport being seized doesn't matter, man. He's got his own fucking plane. Does not matter, man. He'll be out of there. You will not see him again, ever. The bigger concern deals with the danger of obstruction of justice and the danger of witness tampering. Yeah, he'll probably get a couple people killed. He'll put out a few hits. Attorney proposed putting in place additional strenuous and maybe unusual conditions to address the judge's concerns, including that Combs have no access to cell phone or internet and to have an intelligence firm staffed with former state and federal officials monitor the residents 24 hours a day. So basically, what he's saying here is, for $50 million, judge, I will live in my house as if it was prison. You may as well just go to fucking prison. So obviously, he just doesn't want to get fucking raped. Be the smaller dog for once. / wants to be able to try and take out some people if he can. 100%, man. Judge was right to deny that shit. Monday night, following a slew of sexual assault lawsuits and a federal human trafficking probe in the past year, Combs was arrested at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Manhattan and then taken into custody by Homeland Security investigations, a source familiar with negotiations of his surrender. The indictment states Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct for more than a decade. Yeah, so we just pretty much read through all that shit. Specifically, the indictment accuses Combs of working with other associates and employees, alleges he hosted drug-fueled freak-offs. What the indictment describes as elaborate and produced sex performances. In court on Tuesday, Assistant US Attorney Emily Johnson argued Combs should be detained because he is a serial abuser and serial obstructor. Adding pre-trial services also recommended detention. His lawyer asserted the case is about one victim, an argument fiercely opposed by federal prosecutors. In a rebuttal, Johnson emphasized there were multiple victims. Since last November, Combs has been hit with 10 lawsuits. 10 lawsuits. That's nuts. 9 directly accusing him of sexual assault. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. There's going to be way more people coming out about this now for sure. I mean, it'd be kind of embarrassing as well. So I don't know how many people will. During Combs' detention hearing, federal prosecutors said he had at least a dozen witnesses personally observed the music mogul's violence against women or the injuries they sustained at his hands. Prosecutors also noted Combs had reached out to victims and witnesses, some of whom are scared of him. Man, he does not look happy. I love how they still do these drawings instead of just taking a fucking picture. Like, what's the point of that? I love it, but I don't know why they do that. The attorney of Dawn Richard, a former member of the music group, Danity Kane, who's accusing Combs of sexual battery in a separate lawsuit, told CNN the federal prosecutors' revelation about a witness in Richard's own case receiving 128 phone contacts from Combs within 4 days after the complaint being filed was shocking. 128 phone contacts is nuts. Then after the witness made a statement, not a single phone contact from Mr. Combs. Cameras aren't allowed? Oh, okay, so they can't even have one for the court? Okay. That's nuts. Freak Off Fridays? We can do Freak Off Fridays for sure. For the starving artists to demonstrate their skills. Makes sense. I guess art school does pay off. Tuesday, they called Combs reach out to the... Sorry. His lawyer on Tuesday called Combs reach out to the witness the furthest thing from obstruction and said the witness had a different experience and that would play out in trial. Okay. Erica Wolf, another Combs attorney, denied the allegations in a separate lawsuit. He's got some fucking lawyers, eh? In a statement on CNN, and accused Richard of having a financial motive. I don't know what his fucking name is. Told CNN that Tuesday night he has flown around the country interviewing a large number of men who are alleged witnesses in the case. Argued the freak-offs were consensual among acts among adults. The freak-offs were consensual. That's what his lawyer says. His lawyer has flown around the country interviewing a large number of men who are alleged witnesses in the case and argued freak-offs were consensual. That's crazy. I wonder if he can get... Like what? I mean, I don't know why your lawyer would lie about that. That sounds like a very fucking slippery slope if it comes out that you're lying. I'm not a ragdoll, I'm someone's child. Prosecutors read text from a woman from women to Combs. Okay, fair enough. This is nuts, man. This smug piece of shit. That's crazy, dude. We get the gist of it. I'm not going to read through the rest of it because it's just more fucking repetitive shit and people complaining and the judges, the lawyers obviously denying it because they're getting paid big money, but they're going to jail. He's going to jail for sure, dude. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him, goddamn. Fuck me, look at that boy. It's huge. Big boy. Big boy. Big boy. Big boy. Big boy.